Hello everyone, welcome to your first video lecture for this course. My name is Mrs. Nguyen and I am delighted to be your online instructor for English 1101. In this video, I am going to give you all an overview of our class online in Blackboard to kind of show you around where things are, where different course materials are located, and to also draw your attention to the more important stuff, such as, where do you need to go to submit your assignments and how to download certain stuff. So basically, this is what our English 1101 Blackboard course should look like. I have the course content open, and as you can see, we have 4 modules to work through in addition to the participation assignment. But because the participation assignment is so important to keep you in the course, if you've read my course announcement already, then you know that you need to have this assignment completed by the end of this week in order to remain in the course, in the class. When it comes time for me to do my no-show reporting, what I do is I go and I look at everyone who has submitted something for the assignment, who has attempted some questions on the participation assignment, then those people will get to stay in the course. Now, if your name is on the roster, but you don't have any kind of submission, even an incomplete submission for the participation assignment, then you will be reported as a no-show. Okay, so it is your responsibility to have this assignment completed if you need this class and you need to remain in the class. Okay, so this is your second reminder, and I am probably not going to remind you again, because if you signed up for an online course, then you should have already logged in to the course. Considering that this is the first week, you should have logged in at least once already, and when you log in, you should have looked for the course announcement from me first and foremost. All right, and you are expected to follow my guidance, to do everything that I asked you to do, and to read everything that you should that you're supposed to be reading, and to look at all the videos that are relevant for whatever module that we're in or subjects that we're discussing. Okay, so I hope that I've impressed upon you the absolute importance of the participation assignment. So let's leave that, and I'd like to direct your attention to the left side of the screen here, and you'll see that there are quite a few tabs. Okay, the first tab that I'd like for us to explore is the course syllabus tab. This is very important. Okay, in my course announcement, I asked that everybody download our course syllabus and look through it in order to be informed of class details or class information, my contact information, the course, the number of credits that this course can earn you, the name of our textbook, the name of the textbook that we're using for this course, and as well as my class policies. Okay, so my information is up here. These are my student contact hours. Mondays and Wednesdays I am available for you to call me or to meet me in person in my office to discuss any questions or concerns that you may have about the course, or if you just need extra help, right? These are the times that you may come in to my office unannounced. But you are by no means limited by these times to contact me. You can certainly call me, email me, or come and see me anytime that you're on campus. Just kind of drop by my office, and if I'm available, I will certainly see you. Okay, of course, we are in the School of Arts and Sciences, and the dean over that school is Mr. Francis Nyande, and this is his contact information. Just FYI, just in if you should ever need to address him for any reasons. And these are the course competencies and the student learning outcomes that are expected in this class. So please read that over. The textbook that we're using for this course is The College Writer, A Guide to Thinking, Writing, and Researching in its 5th edition. The school bookstore should carry some copies, or you may find some copies online, but as I stated in my course announcement, you need to obtain a copy of the textbook ASAP sometime this week, because this is the summer semester. Okay, so we're working at a faster pace to cover all of the course curriculum. So we don't have as much time as, say, a regular semester such as spring or fall, but we still are expected to do everything that a course in those regular semesters would also cover. Okay, and under evaluation, you can see the different assignments, or the different kinds of assessments that you'll be giving in this course and how much they're worth. Okay, so as you can see, um, all of the assignments that you'll be doing are worth quite a lot. Okay, so missing one can put you in serious jeopardy, in serious jeopardy, or in serious danger of failing the course. So you have one oral presentation that is worth 10%. You have a total of 4 quizzes if you look through the course content, and together they're worth 20%. So you break it down, you'll see that each quiz is 5%. That's still a lot. You have a total of 3 short essays worth 30%, and the rhetorical modes for those essays are cause and effect, persuasive, and literary analysis. Each of these essays is worth 10%. Then towards the end, you turn in a research paper that's worth 20% of your final grade, because this paper should be a long gestated project. You need to take a look at the research paper information weeks in advance before it's due, and you need to have that much time to complete the whole project and to break the project up into stages, such as, formulating ideas, researching, drafting, revising, and all of that. So this is, one of those projects that you cannot put off at the last minute if you want to pass it. And of course, at the end of the semester, you have a final exam that's worth 20% of your final grade. Okay, so you can read the general college policies here. This is our grading scale, your responsibility, my responsibility. We are an online class, so online attendance, you are expected to log into Blackboard every week, at least 2 or 3 times a week, and check for course announcements or any other activities that you should be working on during that week. So you are responsible for all that. Nobody told you to sign up for an online class. You chose to sign up for an online class for whatever personal convenience that you can get out of it. But all of the personal responsibilities that come with attending an online class fall upon you. Assignment submission. I do not. Okay, and please note this very carefully and try to remember it throughout the semester, because I am very strict about meeting deadlines for assignment. I do not accept late works, period. Okay, so let me just save you the trouble of, down the line emailing me or calling me asking for a deadline extension because you missed an assignment. So just know that I will say no, not because I'm mean, but because I have a very, very specific policy about that. I do not accept late works. I do not accept late works. And like I said earlier, all of the assignments for this course are worth a lot, so you really cannot afford to miss any. So please, plan your time carefully to accommodate, to give yourself enough time to prepare sufficiently for these assignments before you turn them in, and make sure that you do not forget about deadlines, because whatever personal reasons that you may have to submit an assignment late, which I will not consider, but let's say whatever personal reasons that you may have, forgetfulness should not be one of them. And of course, they're as inexcusable. It's as inexcusable as any other personal reasons. Please also do not request for any redo opportunity or makeup opportunity if you should miss an assignment. Right, that goes along with my, very strict meet the deadline policy. But of course, I do recognize that there are situations in which, you must. Okay, so I should have put this. I do recognize that some of us do have certain conditions that we have to live with. That require us to function at a slower pace than others, and that require more accommodations to enable these functions. I understand that, and in cases like that, I will consider with the submission of appropriate documentation. So if you're suffering from an illness that requires you to visit the hospital so number of times for an extended period, if you have the hospital documentation to prove the existence of your condition, then I'll take it and we can work something out then. Okay, but everything else, considering that this is an online class and you know all of the assignments and their deadlines ahead of time, there really should not be any excuse for you to submit anything late. Okay, and I'll show you where to download the course schedule that should outline the entire course progression for you. Okay, another thing that I want to draw your attention to is that all essay assignments must be submitted in the designated Dropbox in Blackboard. Okay, do not email me your essays unless you have my permission to do so first. Right? If I received an essay in my email without prior notice and permission, I will not look at it even if it is not late. Okay, now, but if you but I recognize that this is our only second semester using Blackboard, and some of us are still not familiar with it, are still learning to be comfortable with using Blackboard, and that Blackboard does run into issues every now and then. And Turnitin Dropboxes may be one of those issues, right? So when you find yourself, at night trying to, or whatever time of the day that you're trying to submit an essay, if you cannot submit an essay to a Turnitin Dropbox because it gives you an error message, here's what you do. Well, you try again. You take a screenshot of the error message and then make sure that the screenshot has the time and date of your attempt, because that's how I am able to verify that you're trying to submit an assignment before its deadline. Now, if I don't have the time stamp and the date stamp in your screenshot, then there's no way that I can verify that you did try to submit it before it's due, right? Because if you try to submit an essay to Dropbox after it's due, then you're automatically gonna get an error message. Okay, and that error message is really a you cannot drop this essay into the Dropbox because it's late kind of message. Okay, so an error message does not necessarily mean that there's something wrong with the Dropbox or with the system. It could simply means that um, that your submission is past the due date. All right, so in order for me to differentiate or to know what kind of error message it falls into, I need the timestamp and the date stamp. Okay, that's very important. If I can't see that, then I can't determine that, that you were being a good student and you tried to submit it on time, and I won't be able to give you an extension or, just an opportunity to resend it again or something. All right, so when that happens, you take a screenshot of it. You can call tech support to try to resolve the issue, okay? And then you can shoot me an email notifying me of the error message and attaching the screenshot so that I can see it, and also attach your essay that you were unable to drop into the Dropbox, okay? So I hope that direction for that kind of contingent situation is clear. If it's not, please rewind this video and listen to it again, because it's very important that you proceed, that everyone in this class proceed in that way. And if you don't, okay, then please don't be surprised that I reject any, request or appeal for makeup or redo or late submission or anything of that nature. Okay. All right. In-class assessments doesn't apply to us because we're an online class. Let me see here. Online communication. Okay. So you should only now there are a few number of ways that you can appropriately contact me. Of course, you can call my office at the extension, and I'll show you where to find it. Actually, you can find it on the syllabus as well. You can call me at my extension. You can come see me in my office, or you can email me at my GPTC email, or you can email me through Blackboard. So those are the 4 ways that you can email me. Do not, and I repeat, do not email me from a personal email account. Okay, if you email me, it must be through your Blackboard account or your GPTC student account, student email account. If you email me from, say, your Yahoo email account or Google or Bing or whatever, okay, I am not allowed, or I am required by law not to respond to emails being sent from, those kind of systems. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Oh, and if you email me, the school policy is that we reserve the school policy for responding to student emails messages is within 48 hours, 48 working hours or business hours. So business hours are considered, Mondays through Thursdays, from the time that the school opens to the time that the school closes. Those are business hours. Now, my personal business hours is Mondays through Thursdays from, let's say, I usually get here by 9. So from 9, and I leave at around 4:30, right? So when I leave, I would tend, well, you know what? My business hours are the same as the school because I telework as well. So disregard that. So business hours are Mondays to Thursdays from the time that the school closes to, I would say, 5 or 6 for me. Okay. All right. So say if you email me late evening on a Thursday, okay, the latest that I have to respond to your email is Tuesday evening of the same hour, because that would be 48 hours thereafter, right? Remember I said that the weekends, which are Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, do not count. So that's just the school policies, but I will tell you that I'm pretty quick with my response time. Okay, so I'm always in my office if I'm not teaching or on my lunch break or doing, other things on campus. That is a part of my duties here. Then I'm in my office and my computer is open, so I get email alerts. So as soon as I see your email or an email from a student, I tend to respond right away. Okay, so so you can expect a somewhat reasonably quick response time from me if you um, email me. Now, if you call me, if I'm in the office, of course, I'll pick up. If you leave me a message, I'll listen to it and I'll return, um, and I'll try to return your call. But I think that if you don't get me on the phone, then you should email me because I think it's quick. It's the next quick method. Attendance, student-initiated withdrawal, faculty-initiated withdrawals. You can withdraw yourself at any time before the midpoint of the semester. And I have to check the academic calendar to see when that is. Or you're welcome to check the academic calendar under quick links. Or I can withdraw you before the midpoint. Okay, if I see that you're not doing any works or you're not turning in, or if I see that you miss 10% of the works. Okay, let's see here. Missing more than 10% of class time in a lecture setting can adversely affect the students. Let's see. So that's the 10% rule. The 10% rule refers to 10% class time or missing 10% works. Okay, 10% of the course works. So I may withdraw you, but after the midpoint, right, you will not be withdrawn. Okay, here a student failed to log in, blah, blah. Okay, so you can read that for yourself and all of these other stuff. Okay, so let me close that. Please download this for your own reading. Course information. This is important. Well, you know what? Let me go to instructor contact real quick. Okay, instructor contact has my basic information on how to contact me, my office hours, my office location, my GPTC email account, my extension. Okay. Now, please note that the screen that you're seeing here is actually my view, my instructor's view. Your view is going to be different. You know what? As a matter of fact, let me click on your view so that information is shown to you as how you see it. Okay. All right. So that's the instructor contact. So, whoa. What is going on here? Okay, I don't know why you can't see the instructor contact. Let me exit preview. Let me change something because I'm wondering why you cannot see it. Make profile available. There you go. Must have missed that part. I'm sorry. Okay, so let me go back to the student preview. I apologize for that little interruption. Okay, so instructor contact. There it is. So you should see, a kind of quick shortcut for my contact information. This way you don't have to download the course syllabus, to get this information. All right, so let's go back to the course information. Course information is where you can download, and you should download the module calendar. The module calendar is a weekly schedule for our course. Okay. That tells you what you should be working on each week. So my advice to you is to download this, perhaps print it out. Okay, this is what it looks like. Okay, print it out and keep it within view somewhere on your desk or wherever that you use, or whatever that you use to work on your online stuff. Right now, if you don't have a printer and you can't download and you can't print a copy of this module calendar, then every week or every time that you log in, perhaps download it, and just kind of leave it open for reference. Okay, because you should always be aware of not only what we're working on in the current week, but you should also have an idea of what's coming up in the next week, or yes, of what's coming up in the next week. So always be aware, kind of 2 weeks ahead, the current week and the next week. Okay, so that you won't be behind. All right, so this is very, 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 very important. This should be your best friend. Okay, this is one of those tools, the module calendar, I consider as one of those tools um, that should be able to help you to stay on track for the course. If nothing else works, this should work. Now, of course, in Blackboard, there's also, a monthly calendar that that tells you when assignments are due, and that's all fine and good. You can certainly use that to remind yourself as well, but this, I believe, is more detailed because the monthly calendar will only be populated with assignments that actually have a grade, okay, or with graded assignments, or maybe non-graded assignments that are also important for your own development in the course. Okay, but this module calendar tells you what you should be reading in addition to what's due, what you should be reading each week, what you should be viewing, what video lecture you should be listening to, things like that. So it's more detailed, and it's meant to keep you on track week by week by week by week. Right? So many of my online students tend to kind of jump ahead of themselves. They get freaked out and they ask me about, assignments that are not due weeks in advance or weeks ahead, right? I don't like that kind of questions because it usually takes a long time to cover a concept, okay? And I cannot do that just to appease you. So my advice to you, not that I don't want to be inconvenience to anything, but please, my advice to you all is not to jump ahead of yourself, but to jump ahead of me, and not to jump ahead of the class schedule, which is what this is. Okay, so just take it week by week. No, I'm sorry, just take it 2 weeks at a time, the current week and the next week. Okay, and I think you should be fine. So just kind of always have this downloaded and always be aware of that. And also read my course announcements. You are also responsible to read announcements from me because I'll make important announcements to the entire class in my course announcements. I'll also provide reminders as well. Okay, so you really don't have an excuse to not to miss anything. If you are doing what you're supposed to do as an online student. Okay, if you're checking in with the course as often as you should be checking in, and if you know where to look, and you should know where to look after you viewed the entirety of this video. All right. So as you can see, we are in the first week, so we're working on module 1. And this is assuming that you've completed the participation assignment, but please be aware that the participation assignment is due next Monday. Course introduction, this is what this is. So we're going to review the essay structure. So please go into module 1, excuse me, and read all of that. Okay, so that is that, and this is where you go to read my announcements, and this is the course content. Okay, so we have 4 modules: essay development. Okay, you'll note that in every module, from modules 1 to modules 3, okay, the 1, 2, 3, 4, the first 4 items will always be the exact same thing. The first four items usually are the module objectives, general guidelines for course compositions, college level compositions, criteria, and your reading assignments for that module. So make sure that you read these over each and every time. All right, so let's go to module objectives. Module objectives tells you, the learning objectives for the course, what you are expected to, the skills and concepts that you're expected to learn, to acquire, and to be competent in this module. General guidelines for course compositions. This is very, very important to revisit again and again and again, especially before you submit an essay assignment, or especially while you're in the process of composing your essays. Okay, so this page tells you all of the assignments in this course. So I've already gone over that. You have 3 short essays and you have a research paper, and these are the minimum length or word count. Each of the short essay is worth 500, should be at least 500 words long. The research paper should be 1500 words long. Now, these are the general guidelines for all of the essays and the research paper. Okay, so all of your essays are expected to follow these guidelines. They all must have logical development and appropriate structure, must follow MLA style format and guidelines according to their specific rhetorical mode. All essays must meet the established word count, length, and research requirement. Essays that require outside source materials should not contain more than 20% of quotations or unoriginal content. Okay, if your paper contains more than 20% of quotations or unoriginal content, I will start to deduct points. All essays must undergo the revision and editing process. All essays must not contain any first person or second person pronouns in their reflexive forms. For each of such pronouns present, a 1-point deduction will be applied. So what that means is that in all of the writing, in all of the essays and research, and the research paper that you be submitting, and the final exam, the final exam that you'll be submitting for this class, you should not use the first person or second person pronouns, and that's really that's really my attempt to force you or to compel you to use your formal academic voice in writing. Okay, so nowhere in any of your essays or research paper should I see I, me, you, your, we, us, ourselves, myself, yourself, first. So those are all first person and second person pronouns. Now you can certainly use third person pronouns: he, she, it, they, them. Those are absolutely fine. But the I and the me and the you and the your and the we and the us and the reflexive forms such as ourselves, yourself, myself, and so forth are forbidden. For each of those words that I see in your essays, I will take off 1 point for each of those words. So please, please, please keep all of these general guidelines in mind, but what students tend to forget is the 20% rule, the MLA format, and also the first person and second person pronoun prohibition, whatever you want to call it. Okay, now if you're wondering what is MLA style, we will get to it. There is, if you look at the module calendar, okay, it is something that we need to be looking at next. And in my YouTube channel, I do have a video that shows you how to format your Microsoft Word document according to MLA style. Okay, so you need to view that. All right, so college level compositions criteria. This gives you all of the criteria and their descriptions, right, that I look for and that I apply in my evaluation of your paper and essays. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for, and this is how much they're worth. So if you want to know what criteria I'm looking for, how I will be grading your writing, you can certainly go here. And the module reading assignments tells you what chapters in the book you should be reading for the assignments. Now, you don't have to read all of these at once. Of course, they are broken up, into different days. Okay, so check your module calendar. All right, and the monthly calendar, it's not populated by anything yet. I am still working on that part. Well, yes, I'm working, but I will keep you updated. So for now, I would like for you to download the syllabus, familiarize yourself with my class policies, download the module calendar, and see what you should be doing this week besides the participation assignment. All right. Now to email me, remember you can email me through Blackboard. To email me, you just click on this email, and you have quite a few options here. Do you want to email everyone in the class? Do you want to email only me, who is your instructor? Do you want to email specific individuals in the class, be it me, just specific students? Or do you want to email specific groups? Okay, so say you want to send me an email, you click on instructor, so my name is automatically in the front, in the recipient line. You just put a subject, type your message here, and then click submit. All right, so it's not hard. Okay, so I think this concludes this course introduction. I'm pretty sure I've covered everything that I want you to be familiar with. As far as Blackboard, as far as our online Blackboard course goes. If you have any questions at any point, like I said during the semester, email me. All right, so go ahead and download your module calendar and start working on what you should be working.